Musk's fortune soars above $600 billion on new SpaceX's valuation. You ready for this, folks? Elon Musk is about to be a trillionaire. Okay, this is page 9. Do I have page 9?
He's underpaid.
He's underpaid. You think he's underpaid?
100%.
I don't know if I disagree. So what is the new deal? The new deal they have with him is if he's able to get this number above $8.5 trillion, I think he's going to end up getting, what do you call it, $1 trillion in pay? He has to get the valuation above 850. But let me read this to you. This is SpaceX for you. That's with Tesla. It's not even with this company. So Musk's wealth has reached over $600 billion. World's richest person in the world is now worth $638. According to Bloomberg's billionaire index, the SpaceX had valuation of $800 billion in an hour share sale, a deal that makes the Starbase Texas-based rocket maker the world's most valuable private company. Musk is its founder and CEO. Musk's 42% stake is now worth $317 billion after a liquidity discount applied to private companies. For the first time, an individual has been calculated to be worth more than $600 billion by Bloomberg's Wealth Index. Musk, 54, reached the $100 billion mark in 2020 as the value of Tesla Inc., where he was a CEO. Now you're talking about he was worth just $4.8 billion when he was added to the index in 2013. By the way, he was worth just like, it's just a $4.8 billion guy in 2013. Pomp, what's going on with this guy?
Well, if you think about how capitalism should work, whoever creates the most value for everybody else should end up with the most resources, right? Should end up with the most money.
Yep.
Name somebody who's done it better than him. The stat I just constantly cannot get out of my head is Elon Musk, for 30 years, for 3 decades, he has averaged the creation of a multi-billion-dollar company every 5 years for 30 years. There's nobody in the world who's ever done that before. It is incredible. And it's not like, oh, let me go do a roll-up of everybody else's businesses, and it's like financial engineering. It is from scratch. We're going to build a product to solve something at scale.
Insane.
It's crazy. So who should be richer than him, right? He's created more value for anybody else.
Should there be a cap on how wealthy he should be?
No, I actually think that if you give him money, right? So think of it this way. When he sold PayPal, I think he got $180 million. He took that money and turned it into $600 billion. We should be asking ourselves, how do we give this guy more money? I don't know if you saw the recent interview. He was asked, if you lost all your money, somebody took it all away from you, and you had to start over again, how would you make $1,000 or something, right? Kind of a normal interview question. You expect him, I'd go do a lemonade stand or something. And he just looks at the interviewer and he says, well, I don't think it would take very long for me to make money back because I would just go ask people to give me some and I would turn it into more. And he's like, I've been pretty good at doing that. And his point being that, like, people start to understand this guy is good at, if you give him resources, he will come back with many, many more resources for you. And so if you look at SpaceX, there's only 2 companies in the world, is my understanding, that have reusable rockets. And the second one, which is Blue Origin, just got it done after 20-something years. Elon is average. I don't know how many rocket launches they're doing on an annual basis now, but it's almost like 1 a day, I think. I mean, it is crazy how fast they have gone from this technology doesn't exist to being able to do that. And now he's talking about Starlink. He's going to beam the internet down, right? So if you control the internet, that's pretty valuable. And now he's even talking about doing data centers in space. And so you start to see all this come together, and you're like, wait a minute. This guy is basically getting emboldened to be even bigger, to go even crazier. But maybe that's what the world needs, right? Who else would sit here and say, let's put data centers in space? Like maybe the guy who was like, let's launch a rocket and bring it back down to Earth and use it again.
Do you think this whole civilization on a different planet is a reality with Elon?
I think that he genuinely would like to accomplish it. I think that he understands there's a lot of, physics involved in being able to do something. But when you look at the steps that he's taken, it's almost like he pushes from an innovation standpoint, figures out how to make a business out of it. Pushes again innovation-wise, figures out how to make a business. But the businesses are almost being used to drive profit so that he can then fund the next step of innovation. And so, one of the things he's been talking about, I'm blown away by the fact that in today's day and age, you can go on YouTube or the internet and you can listen to the world's richest man, the best entrepreneur of our lifetime, in his own words, talk for 2 hours. 100 years ago, that was impossible, right? I mean, maybe you read in the newspaper something and you had no clue. It was, a one-line interview. what he's been talking about is all this focus on small reactors, all this stuff. He's basically like, stop fooling around with this stuff. Let's go put things in space and harness 24/7 access to the sun, which has this really powerful energy source, and we'll be able to use that to power both Earth and space. I'm not a scientist. I don't know what's going to end up being the right thing, but what I do know is you start talking like that, why is the company only worth $1.5 trillion? Right? You almost start to think to yourself, wait a second. I remember when people in the venture community were buying SpaceX stock at $10 billion, $20 billion valuation. How big could it get? There's not $100 billion companies. It's $1.5 trillion. We come back and do this again in 10 years. 10 billion, 20 billion, or 10 trillion, 20 trillion. Like, I mean, how big could it get, right?
Yeah. A lot of it has to do with how to me, the operator better be protected because he's becoming more powerful than most countries as an individual. The amount of influence he has as an individual, not only financially, because the difference between him and a lot of, like when you said Google, if Sergey Brin and his partner went into the podcast, or they tweeted something out, or posted something on Facebook, or something on their Instagram account, versus Elon goes and tweets something. He's not on Instagram. He's not on Facebook. He's not on YouTube. If he just goes tweet something, what is his reach with people? How much of a disruptor is he? What can he change? So to me, it's a very different animal of what he's doing, but he is more powerful than a lot of people. So he better have the best security in the world. He better be protected. He better be taking care of himself. He better have the right people, better have like the smartest of the smartest and the most brutal people better be protecting this guy to make sure he sticks around long term. Tom, thoughts on Elon?
Well, first of all, I agree. And second of all, I think he is crazily underpaid. If you just did a simple, when you talk numbers that are so big that are beyond comprehension, you get an emotional reaction because the emotional reaction comes from the inability to comprehend. So when the average person thinks $1 trillion, they're thinking about that from the perspective of a working person that's got good skills, that's out there trying to make a living, and they really can't fathom it. So the knee-jerk reaction is which the politicos use is that. On the other side of it, I just look at commission-based theory. And commission-based theory says, okay, everything you invent as a founder's share after dilution at Series D, Series E usually hovers around 27.5%. So if you take it, right, you go Series A, Series B, Series C, D, and you just look at that, you say, okay, well, let's just lock him at 30%, assuming all these companies, and then just add it up. And it's like commission-based theory. And then you add it up and you go, wow, that's not so crazy. And I look at it and I say, that's low because he didn't have to do a Series A and give up 20%. He didn't have to do a Series B and give up 15% and then give up 12.5%, then give up 10%. The typical flow. He didn't have to do that. And so therefore his commission rate is higher. And you look at it and you say, wait a minute. I think he's already a trillionaire because when I look at them saying, well, and we apply the private company discount, this is not a private company in a traditional sense. This guy walks up to Goldman the same way IBM walks up to Goldman and says, I need $100 billion in bonds. IBM makes that phone call and they say, what are you doing? Well, we're doing this thing, Cloud in the Sky and Big Blue or whatever they call their thing. And they get it. Elon Musk can do the same thing. So he's not really a private company. So when you apply a private company discount, I think he's already a 1.5 trillion guy. I think he's already there.
Yeah, I've been saying this guy's going to be a trillionaire in the next 2 to 3 years for some time. I think he's a unique, very unique guy, very, very unique guy on what we have right now as an operator. It's not easy to handle pressure of one company, one board, one investor, times the amount he has, then to attract and hire people, then to have people move from areas to come to you because they want to work with you and run with you. That's a lot. It's a lot of different moving parts that you got. You got to applaud the hell out of it. From an operator to another operator, I have so many friends that ask me, why are you operating? Take your money and just invest and have a better life, and stop dealing with the pressures of hiring and doing. If you love it, you freaking love being in the arena. There's something about building businesses. There's something about building businesses. It sucks. It's hard. It's challenging. But if you love the game, you love the game. Nobody plays the game and loves the game more than this guy. You got to respect him. Brandon, thoughts on this?
Yeah, just like in terms of value creation, I mean, look at what NASA's created over the last 10 years, given $228 billion, then look at what SpaceX has created, given $20 billion over the past years. You know, so it's wasted taxpayer money going towards what? So like everybody who works for NASA for the most part is paid with taxpayer money, and then Elon's creating jobs for people, and then creating a much better product that's going to like take us to a place where we could potentially harness the energy of the sun. Which, by the way, I'm not sure if this is the exact stat, but I heard that if you harness all this energy from the sun for just one day, you could power the entire world for like 1,000 years. Because we don't even come close to like harnessing the full energy of the sun in a day. So if he starts flirting with that, then yeah, we have infinite energy. So yeah, most valuable thing you could possibly do. And I think he's gonna have the most powerful private army in the world in a couple of years when he gets this robot fleet going. So I think his security will be good with that.
Yeah, I appreciate the NASA comment, but just look at this. The Department of Transportation under Joe Biden and Pete Buttigieg attempted to build charging stations. Attempted to be entrepreneurial, build charging stations, and look at the multi-billion-dollar bill that the American people paid, and I do not think they built their 50th station.
Do you think when he went into Doge and he did what he did with Doge, do you think some of his long-term motives were revealed? Like, do you think he thinks that was a good move? Do you think he thinks it was a right move for him, or no?
He got a lot from that.
I think that if he could go in and the only goal was to make the government efficient, he would have been very successful. What I think he realized was there's a lot of people who don't want it to be efficient. There's a lot of people who are actually benefiting from the waste, abuse, the fraud, all this stuff, right? I mean, if you look at the Minnesota situation, I mean, it's just crazy. And some of it is not even economic, right? Some of it is just, I don't want to offend anybody. So I know you're doing something bad, but I'm going to let you keep doing it type thing. So you can't take his skill set, his expertise of going in. And I mean, you ever seen the visual of the rocket engine and how it's like really complex and then all the iterations and eventually it's like this beautiful, very sleek, simple thing, right? That's basically what we want to do to the government. But you can't do that because there's a bunch of people with their hand in the cookie jar. Now, I know a number of people who are close with Elon, and I think that they regret all of the wasted time. Right? If you think about like what they could have accomplished instead of spending their time doing that. But at the same time, I think that he understands having a monopoly on attention is a very powerful thing. Him and Trump, I think, are very similar in that sense. And so Elon Musk is more famous today than he was before, even if some portion of those new people don't like him. But remember when they were protesting outside the Tesla showrooms? They were setting him on fire. They were saying he was, a fascist, all this crazy stuff. Stock's at an all-time high. So in a weird way, it actually didn't have the long-term impact that, Tim Wall standing on stage screaming and yelling about the stock's going down. I think it's doubled since then.
We were at an after party in D.C. I don't know if it was inauguration. I don't know what it was. Was it inauguration?
Yeah, it was inauguration week.
We're in our inauguration. We're at this house. And Rob, were you with us?
Yes.
Were you at the house? Yeah, so we're at this house. How do you describe this house? Like a party house. Like it was Dwight Howard's previous house.
Like a bachelor pad.
It was Dwight Howard's previous. It's exactly a bachelor pad. Like where would you like to live? And also word gets out that Elon's coming to the party. Great. My son is there. Tom and my son are on the rooftop screaming at the fascists. I come out. So I'm trying to find my son. I'm like, he's either making out with somebody or he's got a bad influence. Let me go make sure he's not being, taken advantage of. Because at the time he was 12 years old. Yeah, 12 years old.
I thought what we did was funny. We got up on the roof and we yelled back at the people in the
protesters.
We sang to them the old John Lennon song. All we are saying is give fascism a chance.
And they're screaming at Tom. By the way, the rooftop's probably 5 stories high, and they're cursing Tom and my son. And they're just. And so, anyways, afterwards, we decide to leave. We go downstairs. We have security with us, and there's 40 cops outside. One guy starts spitting on my security guard, and he lands one on him. And they arrested him right there. They took him. It was pretty nasty on what happened because that time, Elon is coming in and he's doing what he's doing. Yeah, did you find a house or no?
That's a good security guard. He's willing to take one for you.
Yeah, he's willing to. Is that the house, Rob?
Yep.
That's the house. That's the rooftop. So visualize Tom and my 13-year-old son all the way up top right there. Exactly where it's pointing. Screaming at these guys and singing. I'm like, what kind of an influencer are you, Tom? I thought you were going to teach this guy some good things, but Who knows? Maybe they both have an
Tico
edgy
said he
side.
had a very good time.
He did have a very good time. By the way, this is the engine you were talking about, Pomp. So when Pomp talked about it, this is the
Crazy.
engine on how the evolution, how far we're going.
And that's a visual of what they wanted to do to the government, and obviously they ran into a lot of roadblocks.
Well, the government employees prefer, government people on the top prefer the left. The establishment wants the furthest one to the left, not the one to the right, because you don't want it to be efficient. You want to be able to show we need 200,000 jobs. Not really. We can get this thing done with 890 people. No. We need 200,000 jobs of people who never show up to work. Every time I'm at this campus and I'm in my conference room and I look to my left and I see 15 people walk into the other building, they're getting a tour. That means we've hired 15 new people, okay? And last week we had 10 new hires that we had 45 job openings. Right now we have 35 job openings. We are hiring. If you're somebody highly qualified, you're educated, you're hungry, you want to be part of something that you want to go on a run for 20 years, a lot of people, if you just watch us, you think it's a podcast. And by the way, you may have a son, a daughter, a friend, somebody that's fully qualified that wants to be part of something and bring their talent to us. Not an easy place to work. We work very, very hard at a place like this. But if you think this is just a podcast, I want you to watch this clip to give you a little bit of a glimpse, and then I'll give you a link to go apply for the 35 job openings that we have right now. Go ahead, Rob. Many times when people think about valuetainment, all they think about is a podcast, but it's a lot more than that. It's 9 companies working together on an 11-acre campus. If I was to give you a virtual tour here, you'll see the HR department hiring, talent acquisition. We have full-stack developers that are working on Connect and Hire Metrics. We have a full-fledged events team that puts together events with thousands of people. We have a merch department designing the latest product. We just launched the FLB shoes made in Italy. We have a marketing department. Then if you go to the complete opposite side of the building, 50, 60 people making calls, working for David Consulting, sales, setters. And then on the complete opposite side of the campus, there's a full-on production company with editors, shooters, creating content, doing podcasts. Then you can drive down a couple miles and go to our private boardroom cigar lounge with members only. Regardless of what it is, working at Valuetainment, every day is a surprise. You could be walking into work and right next to you is a governor, is a billionaire, is an athlete. We are hiring aggressively, but Valuetainment isn't for everybody. For the right person, this could be the last company you ever work for. So if you're watching this and you want to learn more, go to vt.com/careers and apply now. There you go. Go to vt.com/careers and apply now. Rob, if we can put the link below as well, that will be wonderful. Okay.
Can I say something about the people I met here?
Please, go for it.
Excellent. A+. Every single person. High energy, smart. And I ask every place I go, I ask them, what's it like working here? What's the best part? What's the worst part? And the woman that I was just talking with, you know what she told me? She said, it's great to have a leader who's pushing forward. There's a movement. You feel like you're contributing, but it's fun as well. It's very rare where you can work really hard and have fun.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you for saying that.
Yeah.
And whoever said that, can we
I might apply. She was a good sales pitch.
All right.
Yeah,
okay.
bring your talents to just north of South Beach.
Yeah. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.